In today's lesson, we're going to be learning how to subtract mixed numbers with regrouping. We're going to start off with 6 minus 2 and 4 over 5. Now we have two whole numbers, but we do not have two fractions. So we are missing a fraction right above 4 over 5, and that is the same as having a 0 in that space. And we cannot subtract anything from 0. So traditionally, when we are subtracting, if you do not have enough, we borrow from our neighbor. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to borrow 1 from the 6, which now becomes 5. Then we must create a fraction out of this whole that we just borrowed. So the first thing we do is we have to make sure it has the same denominator as our fraction that we have already, which is 5. So we're going to put 5 as our denominator. In order to make this equivalent to a whole, we put the same number as the numerator, which is 5. 5 over 5 gives us one whole. Now that we have the same denominators, we can go ahead and subtract the two numerators. 5 minus 4 gives us 1. We keep the same denominator, which is 5. Then we go ahead and subtract 5 minus 2, which gives us 3, for a final answer of 3 and 1 over 5. Now we're going to start with a different example to reinforce everything we just learned. This example is going to be 7 minus 3 and 1/2. So remember that missing space right above the 1/2 is almost like having an imaginary 0. And we cannot subtract anything from 0, so we must borrow from our neighbor. We are going to borrow 1 from the 7, which now makes it a 6. Then we must create a fraction that equals a whole. We're going to make sure it has the same denominator, which is 2. In order to make it equivalent to one whole, we put the same number as the numerator. So 2 over 2 is equal to 1 whole. Now we can go ahead and subtract both numerators. 2 minus 1 gives us 1. We're going to keep the denominator the same, which is 2. And then finally, we can subtract our whole numbers. 6 minus 3 gives us 3, for a final answer of 3 and 1 over 2.